Welcome to HDLife Community, second edition of our Expert Talk Show. And today we are going to be discussing real estate. Real estate. Why real estate? Do you know that or let me say, about 90% of millionaires that we have all around the world, they made their wealth through real estate investing? What do they know that we don't know? And that and more are what we're going to be talking about today. And before we go into it, I have with me today our guest speaker. He is an expert in the real estate world,
Right.
but not just that, he is an award winner, and not just that, she has a lot of things into her portfolio. So let me just briefly tell us about. This is someone with lots of years in real estate, and she has helped over 100 people actualize their dreams in the world of real estate with a keen interest in prioritizing their needs and tailoring, the approach to that space. Of course, there are a lot of, as I said, she has won several awards and been a sales champion to the most reputable real estate companies. All right, you will hear more from her. So, but before I bring her on, I want to appreciate the presence of our community members, starting from Leader Oliver, Leader Adiola, Leader Irene, Leader Sunday, and Leader Toluwani that are present with us at the moment. Of course, there are still more, and they're going to be joining us soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is HDLife Community. What do we do in HDLife Community? We are a movement of people, right? Raising and creating superhumans. So if you are a professional or aspiring professional that you want to contribute your own culture to the world, HDLife Community is where you should be. We focus on four specialties. We focus on personal development. We focus on financial literacy and freedom. We focus on mentorship for career success and building your own community. As you can see, HDLife Community is a place for you to be. Leader Oliver, please help us mute your mic. All right, please help us mute your mic so we don't disturb ourselves. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, without wasting our time, because we want to be conscious of time, all right, even though even we're still going to be having two sessions, but at least let's make use of this first half very effectively. So now I'm going to be bringing our guest speaker for today, so that I want you to hear from her directly. All right. So are you ready, Leader Joan?
Yes.
All right. Please take
Yes,
it up
I
from
am.
there. You have the mic. Please, Joan.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. It's actually a privilege to be here. My name is Joan Kunoyinim. That's and Agbo to be precise, in case I have some of my brothers and sisters here watching. Okay, so I ventured into real estate officially about 2 years ago, but prior to that I've been in and out of real estate, right? The thing is, real estate is actually something I feel everybody should be involved in. My only regret in real estate is I didn't start early. I didn't have that mindset of properties, because at first I felt like, oh, I'm too young. And trust me, there are a lot of people on this table where have that mindset of, I'm too young, let me just, use my money to, do other things and every other thing. So I felt I was too young. I didn't start real estate investment on time. It's not like I'm old, Sha. I'm in my late 20s, but I wish I had started earlier. I mean, because I'm in the field now. So I feel if I started earlier, my real estate portfolio would have been, a lot by now. Because however you see it, there's a competitive advantage starting early. Whatever you are doing, be it real estate, be it your personal development, be it whatever, career, business, anything. Because when you start and it's better for you to fail early. So it's always good to start early. You are young, you have the capacity to embrace risk and all that. So yeah. And the thing is, real estate is not for just one person. In fact, real estate is part of us. The roof over your head is real estate. The land your house is built is real estate. Your house is real estate. Where you work is real estate.
Yeah, thank you. I don't want you to go into details yet, all right?
Okay.
I don't want you to go into details yet. All right, guys. So, for some of you that are just joining us, so I have with me here uh, Leader Joan, of course. She is also a superhuman. It's just that or let me say, she was on the previous, on our second group, not knowing that we have another general group, all right? So, and as I said, Leader Joan is award-winning real estate broker. She helps explore how the Nigerian real estate can be tailored to enhance your unique financial goals, and also she's an expert in this market. All right. So now you have heard from what Leader Joan has said. He has over 2 years experience now in real estate. I tell you, that's not a joke, man. When you have over 2 years in doing something, and you guys you still get to know what I'm talking about. You can go and check her out on her social media handles. She's on Instagram with Everyday Global Properties, and also on LinkedIn as Joan Obi Okuhon, OKUHON. So make sure you guys follow her on her social media handles. You have heard what she said. Of course, she said she has some little regrets because she didn't start real estate on time, and this is what we don't want to happen to our community members. Right? We want everyone to start investing in real estate, and that is why we have brought this program to you guys. Okay, so now, Leader Joan, let's start. Real estate, I believe it contains so many things, right?
Yeah.
But we really need to know. But before then, for some of us that are just joining us, we are talking about your guide to the world of properties and financial freedom through real estate. So now, real estate means a lot of things to many people. But from the professional point of view, I want us to tell us what is real estate and why do you think our community members should get involved? Just briefly, you understand? Because we have a lot of questions I want to ask. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, real estate from a professional point of view. So, like I said before, Leader Mike cut me off. Real estate is a daily day. Is like a lifestyle. To me, it's a lifestyle. Where you live is real estate. Your office is real estate. Your environment is real estate. So, from a professional point of view, so I think that since real estate is part of our daily lives, why can't we make money from it? So for me, that's the professional part of real estate that I always talk about. Everybody can partake in real estate. It's not limited to only the rich. I know there is this means of real estate is only for the rich. Yeah, when we were growing up, we had that mindset, and to an extent, it's true. But the real estate of now has been simplified so that everybody can partake from it, no matter how little. Because first of all, we need to understand that investment is starting from where you are. It's not looking at starting from where you are towards the goal. It's not looking at something from afar, and because you cannot afford it currently, you are waiting for you able to get there. I always tell people that investment starts from where you are. With that, you can take it up from there and know what's next. So yes,
Yeah.
I indulge everybody on the HDLife community to start thinking about milking real estate.
Okay, thank you very much, Leader Joan. So you said real estate is a lifestyle, it's part of our daily life. So now when we talk about real estate, because I still want our audience to really understand what we talk about when we mean real estate, because it's a term. Some people don't really understand what. Some people might think real estate is just only about land alone. You understand? So I want you to break that word real estate for us. What does it really entail?
Okay, so real estate, yeah. Real estate is about land. I mean, everybody already knows that. It also consists of buildings
Yes, yes.
alongside with its natural resources. Because when you buy land, you have three things.
Mm.
You have the land itself. Can you see me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We can see you.
Okay. Okay. So when you buy a land consists of three things. You have the land itself, and you have what is underneath, which is the mineral resources and every other thing, and you have what is on top, which is the building.
Mm.
So that is like a basic example of real estate.
Okay, great, 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 great. Okay, so now from what Leader Donna said now, real estate, she broke it down. She said it contains the land, the building, and also the natural or mineral resources that are also under the ground. In fact, I could remember that some people actually, decided to buy some piece of land just because they had like a secret information that there are some there were some gold or natural resources underneath that ground, which not many people actually were aware of. So thank you very much for breaking that down for us. Okay, so now we have talked about what real estate is, what it also contains. So, but we want to go into the investing part now. Leader
Okay.
Joan, what are the most important things that you think a new investor should know about when it comes to real estate? Because we want to go into real estate invest. What do you think are the most important things that we should know?
Okay. So first of all, I think you should determine your investment. Why do you want to invest in real estate? That should be the first question you should answer as a person. Your why would determine the why, the where, and the how.
Okay.
For example, I want to invest in real estate because I want to use it as a portfolio for retirement. So if you are looking towards that angle, it means what you should basically base on will be land banking, buying properties at a very, very, and you're willing to keep them over 10, 20, 20, strictly for your retirement. Because if you are in your 30s and your goal is to retire by 50, 55, 60, so you are willing to buy properties, let's say maybe two properties every year for the next 10, 20 years, just strictly for your retirement. So your is very important. Do you want to invest in real estate? So you have to determine your end goal. Then once that is established, the next thing you need to do is research the market. Now, when we say research the market, the next thing you need to do after your why is research the market.
I didn't get
Did you
that
get
very well.
that?
Research. Okay.
Research the market.
Okay. Okay. Research. Thank you.
Yeah. So once you've determined your investment goal, the next thing is for you to research. Now when we say research the market, it always looks so cumbersome and so big, right? So because it's not in your expertise, right? You probably don't know a lot about real estate investment and all that. So you might not have to bring it. Not might. You have to bring in the need for an advisor, somebody who knows the market, somebody you can talk to about your investment goals, guide you, right? So that is researching the market. Then after that, you now choose a place you are profitable. In as much as to say real estate is, it's profitable, not all lands are profitable. I remember there's this property my mom owns, right, while we were growing up. That property had been there for over 20 years. The appreciation rate is till today, the appreciation rate is low, is less than 5% of the amount she bought it with. And
Wow.
there's another property my dad bought in another location. That one has experienced over 1,000% return on investment. So not all property appreciates. They are selling land here does not mean you should now buy it because they say land appreciates. Not all land appreciates. Not all land appreciates. So that is where the service of an advisor comes in. They let you know that you see this area. If your goal in the next 5 years or 10 years is to experience, 500 or 1,000 return on investment, this is where you should invest in. Then if you are looking at a place that you are like, okay, I don't want so much speed, because potential actually will determine the price of the property. If a property is going to appreciate faster than another property to be more expensive, so you need to talk to an advisor who can let you know that you have to buy here and not to buy here. It doesn't mean that you will experience faster return on you buy in other places. So this is what a beginner or a new, even investors that are already in the market, they understand this. They talk to advisors, they talk to realtors, because they know they are in the market. They know the properties that you should buy. They know developers that are good, that are not good, developing and all that. And another thing, before you buy any property, you need 3 people: a realtor, a surveyor, and a lawyer. Especially when you are buying a property that is not company owned, you need 3 people. The realtor will help you scout for a good place. Your surveyor will make sure that that area is the size of the property equals with what the seller is saying, and will also know the zoning of that particular area. So for instance, in Lagos State, we have areas that you cannot build duplexes in those areas. You cannot in fact, there are areas in Lagos that you cannot build. It's strictly for agriculture. So all these things are what you need advisors for. Because if you buy a property and you want to build, and you have bought it and you find out that property you cannot build on it, you can only use it for agriculture, it's a huge loss. So that is that's part of it. I think I should end here so you can ask the next question.
Yes. Thank you so much for this wonderful points you've made. So I'll quickly go on them now. So these are most of the important things that you should know as a beginner investor. She said, why? Your why. Why do you want to really invest in real estate? Very, very important. Is this for retirement, as you have said? That you can say, okay, probably this is for retirement. You can say you want to start buying 2 properties every year for the next 20 years, all right? Just for to save for ahead of your retirement. And also, she said that you need to also research the market. But of course, as a beginner, you might not really have enough experience about it. So that is why you need an advisor. And of course, she said, the reason why you need advisors is because not all land appreciates. There are some that you can buy them, and for the next 10 to 20 years, they might not really appreciate the way they should be. So this is why you need an advisor. And also, she said you need a realtor for that can stand for a good place, right? And also a surveyor that looks into the size of that land, whether it matches what the seller wants to sell, and also a lawyer that will be in charge of the legal aspect. So thank you very much, Leader Joanne. All right. So let me quickly move on to the next question time. So now let's talk about, because we want our viewers, our community members to really understand real estate. So we need to talk about the mistakes. So let me say common mistakes that new investors make as well. So please tell us about some common mistakes that new investors make and how they can be avoided, especially to your own experience that you have seen in this business so far.
Okay, so there are a lot of mistakes investors make, but one thing that stands out for me is neglecting due diligence. A lot of investors, I mean, if you have real estate is not cheap. Real estate is not, even if you are buying a property of 500,000 naira, 500,000 naira is not small. 500,000 naira is somebody's savings for a whole year. So I don't see why you have 500,000 or 10 million or 100 million naira to buy a property, and you cannot bring out 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira, depending on the property that you are buying, to make your due diligence. I always tell my clients, don't take my word for it. Though I partner with reputable real estate companies, but do not take my word for it. When you want to buy a property, immediately I show you the place and you like it. The next thing, I am documents of that company to you, forward it to your lawyer to help you make due diligence. It doesn't take time. Actually, when we say due diligence, people think it takes a lot of time. If that property is genuine and is well, documented in their own site and every other thing, it doesn't take up to 2-3 days, and you have the go ahead of, oh yes, the property is good, you can go ahead with it. So a lot of investors, they don't look into these things. I mean, we saw about the demolitions going on and everything. If the truth is, if most investors want to be true to themselves, you find out that 95% of those people, they didn't make due diligence. They just saw the house, so I like it, and they just went in. Because if you made a due diligence, your lawyer will let you know that this is a canal. You cannot buy a property on a canal. So negligence of due diligence is one of the major thing that investors overlook. Then investors also overlook fees and expenses. So let's say you want to buy a property, maybe a house, a building. Yeah, you have, before you buy that property, you have to incur the after expenses after you buy it. You have to make sure that you have the capacity to maintain this building, probably in 1, 2, 3. If you don't have the capacity to maintain a building, you don't have any right to buy the house. You can't afford it. But some people, if a property is 50 million and they have that 50 million, it doesn't end there. What are the other for example, let me just use a basic example. I always use Lagos because here is where I am. And I'm sorry, I don't know where other of my fellow leaders stay, right? So if, for example, you live in Aja. Aja is on the island, right? Okay, let me use Yanakbaja. You live on the mainland, right? And you walk on the island. Me and you know that you will see shaggy, like especially with transportation and all that. Especially with transportation and all that. So then I said, okay, you are tired. You're like, oh, I beg, I have money, I have small money, let me buy a house. You now bought a house, and let's assume that your rent you are paying in your other house is 1.5 million, or let me say 1 million naira. You now bought a house on the island. Somebody, it might not be on the island, but somewhere that has close proximity to your workplace, hoping that it will reduce the stress and every other thing. And you did not include, you just calculated just the house. Oh, the house is 30 million naira. You don't know that house, that estate has service charge. The service charge every year is 2 million naira or 2.5 million naira. Can you afford it? So if you now pack into that house and your former rent is 2 million naira, for example, and you are paying service charge of 2 million naira currently in your house, have you truly stopped paying rent? You haven't. Okay. You have not. So you have to calculate the after expenses. Can I afford this? If you cannot, you don't have any business renting or buying that property. So you have to incur the cost instead of ignoring the fees and the expenses.
Okay.
Another thing I would say is overconfidence. Not be Ekpe. I know Ekpe now. Not worry yourself. I don't need lawyer. I don't need surveyor. I know that
Okay.
place. I know Ibadan. I
Sorry,
know
sorry.
Ibadan well.
Before you
What?
continue, all right.
Yeah.
Um, we have, you know how Zoom works. It's just 40 minutes. So
Oh, okay.
what we're gonna do is after this one is off, we'll create another one more so that we'll use that one to
Oh,
round it. But we have
yeah, that's
like,
fine.
go ahead, 9 minutes. Go ahead. Please.
Oh, okay. Okay, so like I was saying, overconfidence, right?
Yeah.
I know about now. I don't need lawyer. I don't need surveyor. I don't need anybody. I know Ekpe. It's not Lagos. I know Lagos very well. Overconfidence. You buy a property and you find out that you've made like the huge mistake of your life. So you have to come down from your high horse. Nobody knows it all. If you don't have if I want to buy something and I don't have knowledge in it, I want to look for somebody who has knowledge in it, and everybody is happy. So overconfidence is another thing that kills investors. Yeah, I think with this covers most of
All
most
right.
of
Thank
other.
you so much. Wow. You can see that. So these are the common mistakes that new investors make. Not, I mean, neglecting due diligence. That is, you know, they are not trying to make their research. And she said one of the things they can do is to forward the property documents to their lawyers, for the lawyers to actually check them out, all right? And also she said fees and expenses. That is talking about the after expenses. That is after you bought a property. There are some expenses that actually come up, so you need to be sure that you can you can afford those expenses as
Yeah,
well. It's just like you buying a car. When you buy a car, it doesn't end there. You need to fuel it. You need to repair it, right? You buy.
exactly.
So so it's very, very important you get to know those after expenses as well. And the last thing, over confidence. Thank you so much, Leader Johan. So, all right, let me see. We still have 7 minutes left for this session. So, I want to ask you the next question now. Um, what do you think are the risks and rewards of investing in real estate? At least to you,
Okay.
so, yeah, your experience so far.
Okay. So risk involved in real estate. So if you are looking towards rentals, the risk is towards rentals is management. Can you manage this property? Do you have the capacity to, just like what I've previously said, do you have the capacity to maintain a building or something? Because it's part of risk. If you buy it, is gone. You are going to it. Then another thing, up NEPA. People can see my face very well now.
Well,
So another thing is legal risk. It's just something similar that I just touched. Legal risk. You have to really, really consider the legal risk in a property that you are buying. If for example you see a property and they're telling you that this property is, Omonile Wahala is still here, or they've not really sorted out the land, or you're like, I can take care of it or something. You have to be ready to follow them and fight. You have to be ready, exactly. So you have to look at the legal risk involved before you buy a property. Then another one is lack of proper documentation. You have to, if you buy a property and you don't document it properly, it's going to haunt you in future. So I have this, he's not really my client. Somebody introduced him to me because he wanted to sell his property here in Lagos. So I asked for the necessary documents. He had the deed of assignment. I'm like, what of the survey? He said survey is coming, he'll bring it. I'm like, okay, no problem. I waited 2-3 months, I didn't see survey, and the thing I did was I was already pushing the property because the person that introduced him to me, it's somebody I really, really respect, right? So at the end of the day, we found out that genuinely this guy doesn't have the survey of this property. He doesn't have it. When did you buy this property? He said about 2 years ago. I said, for 2 years, what have you been doing? That's what most people do. They buy property and they stay. No. If you buy a property and the property is registered to survey, you have to work towards making it a gazette. excision, C of O, and finally governor's consent. It doesn't, you buy a property at registered survey, it does not mean you should not stay there. Because the truth is, the more you keep, upgrading the title of a property, it increases in value. So two properties can be together, and the one with C of O will sell for 35 million. Both of you are together. It's just the boundary. Both of you are together. Then the other one has registered survey. That one with registered survey can be sold as low as 10-15 million naira. But the other one with C of O can be sold for 35-30 million naira because of the title. So when you're buying a property, don't buy a property and stay there. It comes to registered survey. Even a C of O, when you buy a property with C of O, you don't have to stay there. A C of O only offers you 99 years of access to that property. Once you exhaust your 99 years, that property is as good as not yours if you don't renew it. Because the government will release a C of O document, is the government giving you 99 years to use that property. Because by law, all lands belong to the government. By law, all lands belong to the government. So the government will now give you a C of O to say, okay, we are leasing this property to you for 99 years. Once it elapses 99 years and you don't renew it, that property is no longer yours. It is no longer yours. So that is part of the lack of the proper. So before you buy a property with C of O, ask how many years though. It might be just 1 year remaining. It might be just 2 years. It might be just 3 years. So you need to ask. But I always tell people, you have a C of O, before the 99 years elapse, get a governor's consent.
Okay, so now, thank you very much. We talked about, let me check. So we talked about the risk and reward in real estate investing. And our guest speaker, leader John, has just told us that some of the risks in real estate investing are management, legal risk, lack of proper documentation, and of course, and more, right? She also talked about the fact that when you buy a land and you don't renew it for 99 years, the land belongs to the
property with C of O is only available for
99 years. Yes, thank you very much. The property, C of O of the property is only available for 99 years, and if you don't renew it after the 99 years, it goes back to the government. Even though all we know is that God owns the land and everything in it, but of course we have government.
But by law, no, all property is owned by the government by law.
Exactly. All right, so now please, leader John, tell us about the reward aspect. We have talked about the research, also hear about the reward aspect. Thank you very much. So briefly, because of time, we still have some more questions and what we have our community members also like to ask.
Okay, yeah. I mean, investing in real estate, there's a lot of benefits in investing in real estate. Number one, capital appreciation. Over the years, our parents or our uncles bought in our prime when we were teenagers, and now the property experiencing a huge return on investment. So real estate has a good potential appreciation. Then the other one is edge against inflation. Currently, Nigeria is heading towards 30% inflation. Before the end of 2023, we're heading towards 30%. Those with properties will tell you that because if the inflation is increasing, landlord is increasing rents, they are still going to recover their money one way or another. So real estate is an edge against inflation, because people always say that, because not people, there's a saying that you invest into assets, and real estate is you need to invest in to help against inflation and income if you're in every year and all that. I mean, people in shortlets currently they are milking the market. They earn every day. They earn in a good location. So yeah, I think and you can also use. I mean, in cases where you need to take a loan from the bank, you can use your land as collateral. Real estate is a good source for collateral in case you need a loan.
Okay.
Just some few rewards for real estate.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Leader John. So, Leader John has just told us now that the reward part of real estate, capital appreciation, some of it, and also it can also be used as hedge against inflation. All right, and also as a collateral. You can use this as a collateral to get funds from banks, government, anything. All right. So, okay, we might not be able to ask you all of our questions, but I do have some very important questions to ask you. All right. So now, as new investors, real estate, it's difficult to get good deals. So, can you tell us, how can new investors find good deals and also avoid overpaying for properties? Very important. So we don't buy
Yeah.
property of 1 million for 10 million naira.
Yeah. Okay, so one way to actually you don't overpay for a property, like I said, partner with a realtor or an advisor, somebody that is good. So last month I had a client who reached out to me, a prospect rather, but he has not bought at that time. Oh, please, I need a property for 2 million naira. And at that time, I didn't have a property for 2 million naira. So I told him, okay, no problem. If I have new listings for that amount, I'll let you know. And the next week, I have a listing for 2 million naira. Immediately, I told him and he made payments. So these are ways you can look out for, properties that are underpriced, right? You let people that are in the market know that, hey, this is my budget. I'm looking for so amount within this. The listing comes out, you'll be most likely be the first person. They will let you know. Partner with people. There are people that their specialization is distressed sales. They know people that are always selling as distressed. Buying below market price is also a way to venture the market as a new investor and buy lower. As a new investor, I always tell people, always buy lower, buy cheaper properties and just relax and let it, appreciate, especially when you're working on a budget. So yeah, those are the few ways to, maximize it and buy.
Okay. Let me quickly ask the question that you said for new investors, you advise they buy low. So when it comes to buying properties lower, in what range of prices do you consider as buying?
Well, it depends on the location. Yeah. So, like for Asaba, I have listings for as low as 550,000, and the location is great for new investors. Yes, but for Lagos, I will not advise anybody to buy a property, even 1 million naira property. I'll tell you to run. I say it the way it is. In Lagos, anybody telling you buy property less than 1 million, 500K, my dear, borrow leg and run. Your money want to go.
Right, thank you so much.
So for Lagos, I would advise at least 1.5 is good. It's a good deal. 1.5 is a good deal.
This is we are getting some secrets here. Thank you so much for telling us that. So at least when next probably maybe your family or someone who is a relative to you is telling you that there's a place you can buy a property of 500,000, 450,000 naira. You know now that
you have to borrow leg.
Okay, you borrow a more leg and add it to your own and run.
You have to. Yes, you have to.
Thank you so much for that. How can new investors finance their real estate investment, particularly this buyback program in real estate? So there are two questions.
Okay. So the buyback program in real estate, a lot of people don't know about it, but it's actually a very good way to, begin your real estate journey. So the buyback plan was created out of the need to include everybody to invest in real estate. Because over the time, we found out that, yeah, in as much as we're encouraging people invest in properties, it's not everybody that can still, afford a decent property. So this buyback plan is now helping you. It's more like shares. It's more like you buying a portion of a property that you cannot be able to afford entirely. Right? So that's how the buyback came along. So let's assume now that a property is worth 5 million naira, right? So the company now is now giving you an opportunity to buy. It's like shares. It's like you buying shares and getting your dividends in 6 months, 10 months, or 12 months, because that's how they run the package. So it's like you investing. You're not entirely owning. You're not owning the property. You just want to have a share of, the property. And funny enough, because of how lucrative it is, it's no longer for people who cannot afford to invest in a property entirely. It's no longer for people like that, because people have goals. You might have a goal that, okay, by next year December, I want to buy a car. I want to take a course for personal development. I want to start a family for my wedding. But you have this money, but you just don't want to keep it in the bank, just laying there, ready till, then. Because at the end of the day, banks don't give you enough, percentage for you saving there, right? So this buyback scheme offers you much more than, the average percentage that the bank would naturally give you. So you can earn more with it. So some companies, they offer you 6 months, they offer you 25%, 10 months, 40%, and 50% in a year. So if you have 1 million naira that you want to save towards a goal, instead of just leaving it lying around, your 1 million naira can turn to 1.5 million naira in another 12 months, by just using the buyback plan as your real estate vehicle towards effective saving.
Thank you so much for that. So is there any other, apart from this buyback program, is there any other way that new investors can finance their real estate investment? Is there any?
Yes. The other one is real estate investment trust. It's still the same as is more similar to buyback scheme, but there are apps that you can actually buy that from. But I've not explored that aspect very well. Yeah, I've not really explored it very well. I've not found a tangible app in Nigeria that offers that. So it's also a way to do that. It's still buying shares. It's more like buying shares in a particular property and earn dividends, subsequently.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Very, very important. Okay. Now, before we go into, I think I have like 2 more questions before I open the to our to our audience. Right?
Yeah.
I know that real estate. You told us from the beginning that real estate involves more than land alone. Talk about the mineral resources, buildings, and all that. But I want to ask you, as a professional, all right, what are some of the most promising markets for new investors right now that you think if they put their money in this real estate path, in this real estate market, of course, they will be able to get a good profit out of it.
Okay, so I always advise new investors, because that's how I started, right? Don't venture the market, even if you have a lot of money, right? Don't venture the market buying very expensive properties. Start with, for example, in Lagos, Ekpe is the most promising place to invest in right now. Where you are, there is always emerging locations wherever you are. Ibadan, Asaba, Port Harcourt, wherever you are, Abuja. There are always emerging locations. All you need to do is to have that mindset of growth and go to these areas and buy property and wait. I always use Lagos Ekpe as an example. So I relocated to Lagos about 4 years ago. And if you know Ekpe very well, 4 years ago, the road was bad. When I mean bad, it was a no-go area. It was very, very bad. And after 4 years ago, I had an offer to buy a property in Ekpe for 200,000 naira.
Are you kidding?
I'm telling you the truth. I had a genuine offer to buy a property for 200,000 naira. I say, me, buy property here. This road, there is no, who will come here? Who will do this? Who will do that? That's the property I rejected today is worth over 3 million naira. Because all the roads now are, everywhere is tiled. All the infrastructures now are in Bejuleki and Ekpe. So I didn't have, so like I said in the beginning of this video, my only regret in real estate is not starting early. The properties I got 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 1,500,000 naira. Today, I've experienced over 500 ROI on top of each of them. And for the past 3 years, I've made it a point of duty to buy at least 2 properties every year. At least. If I have the capacity for more, that's fine. But at least it can be even be half plot. It can be depending on your capacity. Just weigh what you can afford and stick to it. Go to emerging locations in your state. Go there. There is always emerging location in every state. It's just for you to discover it. Go to emerging locations in your state and buy properties there that has potential for growth. Your future self will thank you. You will look back 5 years, and you'll be like, this is the best decision that I made. Imagine I bought properties 4 years ago for 200,000 naira. I just bought 5 plots, 1 million, and I rested. Today I'll be experiencing over 15, 25 million naira return on investment on each of them. I mean, it's okay to use that. Do you get? So if you are new in real estate investment, go to your city. It must not be Lagos. I always use Lagos as an example because I'm here. And I use Asaba too because I'm from Delta State and I understand how the market works there too. Go to wherever you are, go to emerging locations. Okay. Go buy property. It might be 500, 1 million. Buy and keep. Within the next 2-3 years, you'll be glad you did.
Thank you so much for this particular point that you've just made. We were talking about most promising markets, right, for new investors. And our guest speaker here, Joan, has just told us now that we should look out for emerging locations that are available in your state, right? It doesn't have to be in Lagos, it can be in Ibadan, anywhere you are. But now, this particular point that I just told us now will lead us to the next question, which is,
okay.
How do you suggest that new investors should get started? How do you suggest that they should get started?
Like new investors, I think it's similar to the question you just asked.
No, like how if okay now let's say I want to invest in real estate now, probably land, right?
Yeah.
Go to their local government or looking for emerging locations, you understand? How do you think I can get started the right way so that someone who claims to be a realtor or anybody just doesn't scam me? You get the point. So that's what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, you need 3 people when investing in a property. You need a realtor, you need a surveyor, and you need a lawyer. Even if he wants to lie to you about a particular property, your lawyer will find out doing the due diligence. So you need these 3 people. If you are buying a that is not company owned, right? You need because when you are buying from a company, most of these companies, they've done their due diligence, right? Yeah, in as much as this is Nigeria, they've done like 60% of the work for you. In fact, most times 100%. Your own is now, if you are buying from a company, all you need to do, request for the documents. They have all their documents. Request for their survey, their if it has a CFO, request for it. In Lagos here, where we take it to is allow size in Ikeja. So you take the documents there. It doesn't take time. They just, I think you pay a fee. They verify it for you and they tell you, it's good, you can go ahead. Then another thing you need to look out for when buying a property, right, is zoning. Zoning. Lagos State is very particular about, a lot of things. I said it before that there are properties you cannot build on. There are properties that are just strictly for agricultural purpose. So if you buy that property without making your due diligence, you cannot build on it. You can only use it for agricultural purpose until stated otherwise. There are areas that you cannot build more than four-story building. That's why you see most properties in Ikoyi or all these places, they are sinking, they are collapsing, right? Because it's zoning. Because when you do soil test, I'm not entering engineering matters now. When you do soil test, the soil test will determine what you can use that particular land to build or do. So you need to find out all these things. If you are buying to build, you need to find out that this particular property has building approval. If it doesn't have building approval, you're wasting your time. So partner with realtor, surveyor, lawyer, and I don't know. I think social media has made it easy to, kind of get. You can ask reviews from people. Oh, do you know this person? Have you patronized the person? Exactly. What's your track record and all that for you to know if this person is suitable, to help you or something.
So it just means that if we are not buying from all these companies that are into real estate, that means we need three professionals talking about the realtor,
yes,
and the lawyer.
Yes, you do. So it doesn't mean that when you are buying from the companies, it doesn't mean that you don't still need these three people. It means that your job is streamlined. All you need to do is request the documents. If the property has registered survey, you take the registered survey, you give it to your surveyor. Your surveyor will, the coordinates are correct. The documentation of other things, like the COO, like I've said, when you're buying a property and they're saying the COO, how many years is remaining? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? Is it 99 years? For you to know that, if I'm buying this property and the COO, it's just remaining 2 years. And once that 2 years elapses, that property is no longer yours. It's back to the government's hand. So it means that if you are buying the property of COO, you need to work towards getting a governor's consent, because you cannot get a governor's consent if you don't have the COO. Having a governor's consent is like the peak of, once you have this, you can relax, you are okay. There's nothing to do again on your property. You have every legal right to that particular property.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was really fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. So now, just 2 more questions, and I will open the floor to our members to ask you their questions. So now, of course, I know that there are many information online, particularly on real estate, but I want you to tell us if there are resources that you think people can, like books, if you have a book that probably you have read before that helped you, or maybe any resources that you think will actually be of help to anyone, any new investor that is going into real estate.
Okay, so for books, there is currently no book right now. I do a lot of research, study here and there, then I come up with my own my own knowledge and everything. And considering that I've been in the field for quite some time now, experience, you also learn from experience and every other. Yeah, so for now there's no books. But I'll recommend you can follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn. I tend to put out, these informations from time to time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate. So please, guys, if you are here, of course, I know those people that are not even here now, they will be able to watch the replay. That's why we are giving them this recording. So they will also follow you. So please, guys, make sure you follow our guest speaker. You can see she's been here for like over an hour now, and she's still feeling stronger. So let's appreciate her. Go and follow her, and also you learn. I'm telling you, you learn from the content that she puts out on her Instagram or Instagram page or LinkedIn. Okay. All right. So, and the last question is, so how do you think that new investors should, connect in terms of connecting to professionals that can help them succeed?
Okay. You can do that by, you can attend real estate events.
Okay.
I mean, there are events that, they get to talk about real estate and all that. There's even one coming up Wednesday and Thursday. Lagos State will be giving a concrete regulation on, their 2024 master plan for, Lagos. So you can attend such events. It can be in your city, real estate events, and you can also be in a community, just like a community like yours, where you have like minds of people who are into, who want to learn more about real estate. Then you can connect. It doesn't even necessarily have to be physical. You can listen who have made it, like Stephen Akintayo. He started as a real estate broker, but now, he's world and all that. So you can follow him on Instagram, on YouTube. You can watch his videos, read his books, know how he did it and how he's still doing it. Follow all these people that they've done real estate over the years and they know what they are doing. You can follow them and, listen to what they have to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So, okay, Leader Sunday said, I'm still learning, and Leader Toluwani said, we are all learning. Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for that feedback. So now it's time for you guys to ask your questions. So if you have a question, please signify, or you can actually come and speak, or you can leave it in the comment section right now. So please do that right away. If you have a question, please. Okay. Leader Sunday hand is up. All right. Okay. After Leader Sunday, Leader Oliver will also ask the question. So Leader Sunday, please go ahead and let us be fast about it because of time. All right. Please unmute and.
Okay. My first. Good evening, everyone.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you very much, Leader Joan, for the wonderful section you walked us through. Okay. So my first question is, in the area of the CFO, what is the renewal process? That is, maybe in terms of the amount at which you used to renew. Is it the same amount of which you used to procure the property, or the amount will be different?
Okay,
and then the next question.
Okay, I'm listening.
I have three questions. So the next question is, what is the role of CFO when it has to do with land belonging to paternal families? Like most of us, we come from paternal family that at the end of the year or whenever you make payment or registration, you can get the land. So what is the role or function of CFO in that perspective? And then the last question is, in terms of land verification, do you get the documents for verification before purchasing the property? Thank you very much.
Let me start with the first one. The first one is, the money for renewing CFO, is it the same amount you use in buying the property, right?
Yeah.
No. It's not the same. It can't be the same amount. So let's assume you buy a property of 50, 100 million. It doesn't mean you are going to use 50 million or 100 million to actually renew it. So the thing is, normally to get a CFO is not expensive, but you guys know we're in Nigeria.
Yes, right. We have less than, this is what we're going to do. We have less than 10 minutes now.
Okay.
So you will answer this first question alone. Then, Leader Oliver, please, get ready, you answer your question. Then, what we're going to do is this. Once we upload the video on the YouTube channel, Leader Joan go and answer the remaining questions there. So please, you need to go and type your question under the YouTube section, all right? In the comment section, so you will answer the remaining questions there. So we'll give everybody a opportunity to ask one more question. So please answer so that Leader Oliver can ask.
Okay. No, you don't need the value of the property is not the same amount you use in renewing the CFO. Normally, the money is not supposed to be more than 500,000. It's between 100,000 naira to 500,000. But we are in Nigeria, and you know how the process is. They want to charge you times 10 for you to have it quickly and all that. The whole PRO thing.
One question, please. One question.
All right. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this very opportunity. My question is for the beginners in the real estate sector. Do you beginners to go into crowdfunding and starting to invest in real estate?
Yes, I do. It's an amazing way to start real estate. It's an amazing way to start real estate. Your property is 10 million or 5 million, and you only have 1.5 or 1 million naira. You can get 5 people. You can get 5 people who are like minded and they are willing to do these things. Then you do a proper documentation. The documentation will carry, if you are 5, the documentation has to carry 5 signatures. So it means that nobody can sell that property without the other person's signature. Then you also have to decide the time frame. Are you keeping this property for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years? So all of that has to be stated in the documents. It's an amazing way to start your real estate investment journey. Instead of just sitting out and saying, I cannot afford 5 million, let me just stay. I mean, gather people, and in a few years' time, you'll be amazed how much that property will be worth. And once you sell it, everybody takes their share, and that's it.
Wait,
Okay, but the last one, please.
No, keep your question. No, we can't do it like that. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Please keep your question for now. Leader Sunday, give us one more question. Your second question, I think we still have 7 more minutes. Less than 7 more minutes. Leader Sunday, ask one more question. Then the last question, we'll ask it on YouTube. We'll also give Leader Oliver to know. So your question.
Okay, please. The second question goes to in terms of the verification process before purchasing the land. Is it that someone needs to purchase the land before making verification, or you have to verify?
No. You have to. So if you see a property that you like right now, you request for the documents. They can either copy or the hard copy, maybe a photocopy or something. Then you can go to Alawasa. But if you have somebody who works there who have access to these people, you can just forward this to the person, pay a token. The person will help you verify it in less than 1 or 2 days. All the person needs to let you know that the property is solid. You can go ahead with your payments. You must make your due diligence before you pay. Once you pay, it's over.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So the last question you want on the comment section. Thank you so much for that. Okay, Leader Oliver, one more question because of time.
All right, sir. Okay. The next question I want to ask, man, is what is the difference and the benefit between buying a property in a real estate company and outside of real estate company as a beginner? The benefit and the difference, so that we can be able to understand the two.
Okay, so I think the benefits is higher than buying from a standalone, like a property that does not belong to a real estate company. So the property that belongs to a real estate company, they've helped you to do due diligence. They've done the registered survey. They've documented the whole process. So all you need to do when you kind of land is to just request for the documents and you send it to whoever you want to send it to make verifications for you. But if you are buying a property that is not from the real estate company, most times these properties they don't have solid documentation. So you will not have to start from afresh to start the documentation process, which is usually so expensive and all that. Do you understand? Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. These are brilliant questions, guys. In fact, I need to give you a round of applause. Thank you so much for those brilliant questions, and thank you to our guest speaker who has been also answering those questions beautifully. Thank you so much, Leader Joan. Really appreciate it. So now we have less than 5 minutes now. So I want to ask you on the final note, Leader Joan, what would be your advice, or like the last word for this show for today? All right, the last word and the advice for the new real estate investors, briefly.
Okay, so new real estate investors. So I know that there is this fear that usually comes with starting. Yes, so it happened to me. First of all, you need to change your mindset. Is investment starts from the mind. Whatever you want to do, start from your mind before. I mean, the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. You have to have that conviction in your mind first before you can now take action. And what I always say is, in as much as delayed gratification is good, you have to have a limit. Okay, you have to set goals. I mean, that was the first thing I said when I started. Set your goals. Set clear goals. You make your research and you know that this goal is perfect. Go for it. Just start. Just start. You'll be amazed in 1 year or 2 years how much, or how far you would have grown investing in real estate.
Thank you so much. We have just less than let me say less than 4 minutes. No, no, not approximately 3 minutes now. So thank you so
Okay.
much, everybody. Thank you. Let me first appreciate our guest speaker. We really, really appreciate you. We thank you so much for your time that you made out to be with us in this session. We really enjoyed everything from the beginning to through the middle to the end. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your presence today. And also, we thank you, our one and only important audience, because without you guys, we would not be here. So thank you to Leader Oliver.
Yeah.
Thank you to Leader Sunday. Thank you to Leader Irene. Thank you to Leader Toluwane, Leader Debbie, and other leaders that have shown their presence here in this meeting. I know others too would definitely go to the yeah, thank you so much. Okay, they are dropping comments here. Okay. Can you see the comment section as well? Leader John, can you see the comment section? Let me just read them to you. Leader Debbie is saying thank you everyone. Leader Oliver is saying thank you, man. This
Okay.
was awesome and I have gotten insights and increased greatly. Thank you so much for that feedback. Now this is what you guys are doing now. So all this feedback and also more of your questions. Once you upload this video to the YouTube page, make sure YouTube channel rather, make sure you go there and drop all this thank you message, what you've learned, and every other thing, because this will actually help more people to see this video and help them in getting it right when it comes to real estate investing. So thank you once again, guys. We have less than 1 minute, so I just want to appreciate all of you that have been with us from the beginning, and also make sure we are all on social media handles. So we are on LinkedIn, we are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and okay, Facebook, and we also have a Facebook group for some of you that are active on Facebook. We have a in fact, an active Facebook group that you can join. All right, so don't forget to also invite one friend into the community, and also we have our 12 weeks of growth and 12 weeks of superhuman development. All right, 12 weeks of superhuman growth and development program coming up in January, the first week of January. The first week, no, sorry, second week of January. That's gonna be on Monday. Alright? Yeah, it's gonna be, 12 weeks, 3 months of superhuman growth and development program, guys. So don't miss it. Make sure you invite one person and enjoy this program. There are a lot of benefits are waiting then. So thank you once again, guys, and we'll also see in the next program next month by God's grace. And until then, stay safe, guys. Shout out. Shout out.
Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye, everybody. Bye. Thank you so much for coming. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a lovely night, everybody.